Back live on the National Soccer Network, Inside the Game, episode 225 with Nate Wangler alongside Ryan Glinsky. Get into our second topic here in hour number one, the Super Bowl, the biggest sporting event in American sports, without a doubt. It really far and away. The NFL itself kind of dominates the sports scene in the U.S.
Sure.
If you ever watch American sports television, I mean, it's always NFL something, even in the offseason. Right now, they're already talking about next year. And obviously, I told you, I'm a loyal listener to The Herd, Colin Cowherd, and his show. It's always NFL talk, always 24/7.
NFL 2026.
Yeah, exactly. Right now. So it is the biggest event in American sports. However, it is not the biggest sporting event in the world. That, as always, belongs to the FIFA World Cup. Ryan, you made a video on this yesterday. Go ahead and break down what you told the people on that one.
Well, yeah, it's very simple. One final gets over 1 billion views, and the other one gets just over 100 million views. And one sporting event, you watch it for the product on the field. Another sporting event, you watch for the halftime performance and the commercials and all the off-the-field stuff. I would bet you probably 25% of all the people are there just to simply watch the commercials and the halftime performance. But when you're watching the World Cup final, you're there for simply the product on the field. And let me tell you something, America. This is going to be in your backyard this summer. Over 1 billion people are going to watch a game at MetLife Stadium. I know. Not many people want to watch football games at MetLife Stadium because, man, do those football teams suck. But we're gonna have a very good one, and if this World Cup final is anything like the 2022 World Cup final, I mean, boy, this is gonna be something else. And I only say that, and everyone can argue, well, like everyone's gonna be like, well, it's the world's game. Not everyone plays American football. Not everyone does this, and this. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just telling from a simple viewing numbers, and a lot of Americans think that the Super Bowl is the best thing that there is on planet Earth, and that's the best viewing experience that you can have in terms of sporting events. Maybe, but what I'm telling you about is the World Cup. And yesterday, even in the game of soccer, the Man City Liverpool game, I think got 700 million views worldwide. For a single English Premier League game. Just putting it out there. But what I'm telling you is, America, is our sport, American football, is not king. I know that's hard for a lot of people to say. I know that's hard for a lot of people to digest because what do you mean football's not king? Well, it's king in America, but I'm talking about the whole world. Soccer's king. And over 1 billion people watch a final. Just watch 90 minutes of a game, maybe 120, maybe hour 40 or 140 minutes because of a shootout if it gets there, like in 2022. But I'm just putting it out there that this is going to be in your backyard for a whole summer. And I know that we've already talked about there's no point of even watching baseball this year because the Dodgers are going to run away with it anyway. So instead of watching that product, let's watch outside of minor league baseball, Nate. I know a lot of people love minor league baseball, and we got to make sure Nate gets his views too. Got to make sure he gets his minor league baseball views because Nate does a really good job with the Whitecaps, and the Whitecaps won a championship. But this is going to be in your backyard all summer long. And instead of watching baseball, maybe let's watch a game of soccer and how crazy that is. And ultimately grow the game of soccer in America and help the game of soccer grow here. By instead of watching baseball, which we already know who the champion's going to be. It's going to be the LA Dodgers. Right? I'm already telling you. But in soccer, we don't know who's going to be the final this year. We don't know who's going to be the champion this year. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, well, you make a lot of good points there, Rye. I like your sales pitch. We always talk about trying to grow the game of soccer, and that was good. You wound your way to the end wonderfully. You're like, hey, instead of doing this or that, how about you just tune out and turn on a soccer game? You might discover that you love it. No, the World Cup is always a spectacle. Anybody that thinks that the Super Bowl is bigger than the World Cup, has never left the comfort of 5 miles within range of their house before. They've never left the state. They have no idea that there's actually other things that exist in the world outside of what they consume, which is obviously football, beer, brats, burgers, and football. Like that's just the life. And when you grow up in it, you grow up in it. And so it is the biggest thing in the world to you. But anyone with half a brain, I think, would be willing to realize that the Super Bowl, which is, again, it is a domestic game, despite the fact that there are 62.5 million viewers outside of the U.S., pales in comparison to what we see in the World Cup, and not even just the World Cup. I mean, other international competitions. You talked about some of the other examples, or even league play in the Premier League. I mean, in high leverage games like Man City and Liverpool yesterday. So I think, in my mind, if anything, this is just kind of a given, what you're saying. You are correct. I think it's just a given to anyone who kind of realizes, the Super Bowl is restricted in that way. They might follow football everywhere else, but that doesn't really mean that they're really bought in quite to the same extent that they are with the actual football, the other football. See, I get mixed up with this sometimes, but either way, I think it would be more interesting to compare it to the likes of like the Olympics, like the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics, which, by the way, it still beats both of those competitions.
Oh, I got those
It
numbers
used to
pulled
be
up
that.
too.
Okay, so I mean, we can go through some of those. I think that would be the more interesting comparison in my mind, simply because I think, again, the Super Bowl in one way or another is restricted. But it is, if you're talking about from a viewership perspective, I think that the one thing that the World Cup has, and again, it has more to do with that the game itself, and this is what is so confusing, and it's why I don't think a lot of American viewers or American consumers of sports really grasp onto soccer. It's because the product is the game. The product is the product. It's what happens on the field. Like, that is what everybody, that whether you're supporting these countries or you're just a fan of the game itself, like, that is the story. Everything else around it is really irrelevant. Like, yeah, they're going to have a halftime style performance. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it, maybe before or after the game. They're going to have musical performances and everything like that. But that's why they call it the beautiful game, because it's all about what happens on the field. You don't have nearly as many distractions in terms of everything else that's going on in and around it, which is, I think, what made the Super Bowl yesterday nauseating. For anybody who truly, genuinely just wanted to watch the game and just wanted to see a good matchup, we were surrounded by everything else going on because of it's the American audience. They need something extra. They need the extra appetizer. They need the cherry on top. They need something else to go with the game, because the game itself simply isn't enough. So I would say, if we want to make a comparison, my comparison would be this, Ryan. There are far more casuals watching the Super Bowl than there are watching the World Cup. So,
Probably.
but even then, still watch the World Cup, even if you're a casual, because you might discover that you like soccer a little bit more than you think. But anyways,
Yeah, I
I know
mean,
you got some numbers to get through.
when you're watching an American sporting event, the American sporting viewing experience is all for the extra stuff. You got Bluey at the game. You got 50 Cent beer night, which I hope they bring back
Do
one
you like
day.
Bluey and Bingo?
I don't even know who that is. I've never watched it. I've never.
What?
No, I don't watch that stuff.
It's like the new SpongeBob, man. That's like they're next up.
Yeah, I
Kids
can't
love it. Apparently
can't say
dogs can see it
I
too.
try to watch that. But no, you're there for all the other extra things that are around, instead of actually, like, I mean, it's smart from a fiscal standpoint if you're an owner, that you're trying to get the most bang out of your buck there, and you have all these extra things. It's fine, but that's not what soccer experiences are. But anyway, this is the top 25 or top 15 viewed sporting events since 2022, because of course the Olympics are in there, and some of them happen every 4 years. Um,
Yeah.
but the World Cup comes in at number one. That 5 billion people watch the tournament overall. 1.2 that
Yeah.
we talked about watch the final. I mean, can't really have more than 5 billion people watch a final, or watch a whole tournament.
Yeah.
Number two, this was surprising. Tour de France, 3.5 billion viewers. I didn't realize that
Oh,
was
I
so
believe it.
popular.
Hmm.
Number three, this makes sense. The Cricket World Cup, 2.6 billion viewers in 2025.
On the Tour de France part, by the way, back when Lance Armstrong was doing his thing, a
Not
lot of
cheating.
American. American viewers, well, definitely cheating, but a lot of American, not, we didn't know at the time. That's why we were all wearing those wristbands, the Livestrong wristbands, because, still believe in the cause. And obviously he still very much went through what he did, but yeah, a little blood doping throughout the years.
For the Women's World Cup, 2
Mm,
billion viewers. Well, I didn't think that was that. I didn't think that was so big. Which is actually tied for 5 and 6. The Summer Games and the Winter Games are all at 2 billion views, and then we get a
yeah.
massive drop off. But it's still a soccer event. Number 7, the Champions League final, 145 million viewers. Which still beats the Super Bowl by 20 million views. At 8, Wimbledon at 9 with
Yeah.
69.3 million views. Number 10, the World Series, 51 million views. The Kentucky Derby at 11, 21. The Final Four at number 12 with 21 million. The Masters, I thought the Masters would be a little bit higher, 13th with 19.5 million. The NBA Finals, 19.3 million. And rugby with 17 million views. So
Wow.
that's just all it is. And if we're looking at it, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 truly American sporting events. Out
Yeah.
of all of this, because I don't. Yeah, everything else is international. Sure, the international part plays a factor in getting everything, but this also just means that the America's not the best at everything when it comes to sports, especially when it comes to sporting
Yeah.
events in our own country. It looks like a lot of people edge it out,
Yeah.
but no, I think that's just that's why America. You should tune into the World Cup this year.
We can summarize it this way. Soccer is the most popular sport in the world. I mean, hands down, so that's always the fun. That's the ultimate trump card, I feel like. If anybody ever gets into you a little bit about, soccer this or soccer that, it's like, hey, it's the most popular sport in the world. It's the
Yeah,
world's game.
that's what I
And
use
that's
all the
why,
time in middle school and
yeah,
high school because everyone told me soccer was a
yep,
dumb sport and used other words to describe soccer that I can't say. But
yeah,
yeah, no, that's
which
why
is,
people. It's the
yeah,
world's game. And it's funny that like in terms of always the hype up videos, they're always like doesn't matter. Which the 2010 ESPN hype up video for the World Cup was like cinema. Like it's like doesn't matter what your political beliefs are or where you're standing in the world or what war tensions are going on with each country, but everyone comes in and gathers around for 1 month every 4 years to watch the World Cup, regardless of anything. And everyone kind of becomes one outside of kind of playing each other. Obviously, you want to win the whole thing, but
yeah,
outside of that, everyone kind of comes together for one whole month to just watch the game of soccer and just try to hopefully win it all, but everyone's there to just simply watch the game of soccer. And obviously we're going
yeah,
to have some cool chants going on. I know South America and Africa have got some really good fans in terms of all the dancing and all the singing and all the extracurriculars that they do. Like if you're watching soccer, you will see that like the fans become like that extra sidebar that you see in the Super Bowl because of all the chants that they're doing. Shout out England when they play
yeah,
Germany.
yeah,
Honestly, America, we have so many chants we could do in terms of like when we play like a Germany or we play in England, but we just don't do it. Like I'm just saying, we carried in the wars. We carried. But I'm just saying we could absolutely
yeah,
be coming up with some chants. But no, the extracurriculars become the fans because sometimes they bring flares into the stadiums. You watch AFCON, we got fans storming the field because they're pissed about a call. We got towels being snatched from people. We got people that just stand there as a statue for a whole game, just like this. Just stands there, doesn't move, doesn't make an emotion, just stands there. We got dancing. We got people shirtless at the time. We got a whole bunch of people drunk. That's the
vuvuzelas,
sidebar. What? What'd you say?
vuvuzelas,
Yeah, yeah,
which
that
are
was
annoying. I hate
annoying.
those things.
That
Yeah,
was that was cool for a little bit, but man, I'm glad they never brought that back. That was if I was a player, the vuvuzelas would piss me off. It's like
oh, I'm sure.
it's
Yeah,
it's not like it's not like that much of an advantage because like everyone has to experience it and like every fan is doing it. But like
yeah,
if I'm just trying to like bark out instructions or try to talk to my teammate, like and all I hear is like for 90 minutes. Like,
I'm picturing a world in which I'm like sitting in front of these bozos too. Like I got tickets to the game and I'm like right in front of them, you know, just like yeah, it would drive you insane after a while. But no, it literally soccer. I'm pretty sure has caused like wars before, like political conflicts between places because of the game. Like it is, and it's one of my favorite comedic bits as it pertains to sports has to deal with, and I know we got to get into our final segment here. I want to give you a chance to talk about Liverpool and Man City, but it has to do with rivalries, right? In the United States, Michigan and Ohio State, obviously the two states just don't like each other. Like if you were to ask people from Michigan, what's your least
shout out
favorite state?
basketball yesterday.
Yeah, we can certainly talk about that. Yeah,
Colin White, how many points did you
exactly.
score, buddy? As many as I did.
I think Michigan's lost to Sparty in hockey is like the first time they've lost to either of those two since the Ohio State Michigan football game. But either way, in talking about that, you know, he's like Michigan and Ohio State don't like each other. Yeah, they had a border dispute. One person got hurt. There was a little spying and a little espionage, but that's what it all stemmed from was like that border war and like they got Toledo, we got the UP, blah, 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 whatever. But he's
Hey,
like
we won
over in
that.
France, but he's like in Europe, he's like he's like there was a bloody war between the two countries. Thousands of people died. There were planes flying overhead. There was an entire generation of young men wiped out. And they also don't like playing each other in soccer either. That's what their rivalry is based off of. There was a world war and they all killed each other. And now they settle their differences on the soccer pitch as opposed to like, you know, running bombers over each other's cities. It's like, he's got a point. He makes a good point. It's a little morbid, but yeah, their rivalries mean just a little bit more over there, you know.
If you get
A
the
little bit
video
more
clip,
hatred.
send it to me and I'll play it. But if you find that,
That's it.
send that to me and I'll
Yeah.
play it on the show.
He
I'm sure
obviously
everyone will get
explained it a
comedic
little
relief
bit
out of it.
better out of that one. But let's tell you about Barca Academy. They're a proud sponsor of the National Soccer Network and the official academy of FC Barcelona in the U.S., designed for boys and girls ages 6 to 18. Barca Academy camps follow and replicate the FC Barcelona game model. Same philosophy used by Barca's professional coaching staff. Right now, you can save $30 on registration by using promo code FCB30. Again, that's promo code FCB30 or scan the QR code on your screen. Find a camp near you at fcbarcelona.us/camp.